So what else are you working on, Peter?
My memoirs.
Your memoirs.
Telling tales.
That's what I'm really interested in.
There's a lot to talk about now.
Well, we're going to have further discussions on that.
Yeah.
When did you start that project?
I started it already, but I'm working on it very slowly and sporadically.
And that's got a lot of private letters between artists.
Exactly what they said about each other. And all sorts. I mean, so much stuff. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I think it'd be quite scandalous.
Well, yeah, a little bit. You know, Dennis used to tell me all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like our friend Dennis Bowen.
Yeah.
Having a, you know what, with Monica. Forgotten the second name. She was Irish. She was a redhead.
Well, not the wife of Viscount someone.
No, she became Lady Coldstream.
Okay, yeah.
She
Lady
married-
Coldstream, that's it. William Coldstream's
She married
missus.
Sir William Coldstream.
Yeah.
But hitherto she'd been a Slade model,
Right.
drawing model. And Dennis was with her.
Dennis was what? What,
With
shagging her, you mean? Well, you know he told us all about that.
Yeah, he told me about.
Yeah.
But she later became married. William Coldstream was in love with her,
Yeah.
and she later married Bill Coldstream and became Lady Coldstream.
Yeah.
This is like this is like a fucking shit digger from Ireland, you know.
Yeah.
Monica. She's a redhead beauty. You know what Irish redheads are like. They're gorgeous. And,
Are they? Well, I don't know.
yeah.
What about the Beautiful Jane?
Have you ever had an Irish redhead?
Who?
You?
Oh, might have done. But
Oh, you're very discreet, Peter.
Have you?
Had what, an Irish redhead?
Yes. I don't think I have.
It's not about me, it's about you. So your memoir, Telling Tales, that's going to rock the art world, isn't it? Shock them to the boots.
well, the business about you know, going into the United States for 6 months or whatever it was. 6 months, I think it was.
Did you take a year out of university?
No, it was after I graduated
I
from
was
UEA.
okay. You didn't
I was
take a
living
year
with
out.
Lisa. She was a brown-skinned half. I mean, she wasn't white and she wasn't black. She was
A mulatto.
yeah. And she was living with me at UEA my last year. American.
I don't remember her.
No, but she was around.
Was she?
Yeah. And
Around what?
well, she was living with me. We lived in a cottage near Thetford,
Oh, did you?
so we
Okay.
weren't really, you know,
Yeah,
living on campus then.
yeah,
Well, when we knew each other, we were both at Horsham St. Faith's,
yes.
so we saw each other on the coach and stuff.
Mm.
But the last year, you know, plus I've been in Venice for part of the second year.
Yeah.
Where did you meet her? How did you meet her?
I met her in Toronto, listening to a sax player.
Did you go there to see your cousins?
Yeah,
Right.
and I was in Toronto for 3 months. When I slept with 4 different Canadian women.
You dirty.
in
What?
one summer.
You scoundrel.
Yeah.
As long as
What,
they all...
all at the same time or differently?
Well, no, I was there for 3 months. It was the whole summer of '75, and then I met
Summer
Lisa.
of love.
I met Lisa on the street. She was from Chicago. She'd come up for a weekend, and then she ended up coming to live with me at UEA.
What do you mean you met her on the street? What, you just
Well,
bumped into?
listening to a sax player.
Yeah.
Like a street, you know, he was playing the saxophone.
Yeah.
Well-
What did you do?
Well, we were listening to him. We were sitting down listening to him because we both love jazz,
Yeah.
and then we just started talking, and the rest is history.
Well, when you started talking, what were you like, giving a chat up lines or something?
Yeah, whatever. You know, we just started talking about love of jazz and you
Yeah.
know, stuff. And I was from England, and she was from Chicago. And
And she came back to live with you?
yeah, she came living at UEA for my last year. So anyway, after the year living in England, in
What about the other 3 Canadian women?
Well, they were Canadians. They were. I mean, she was American. Lisa was from Chicago. She was American.
Yeah.
The other ones were Canadians. You know.
But it wasn't as good
Well,
as.
one of them was from Winnipeg. She was Jewish,
Right.
and she was a Spartacist.
A what?
Spartacist. That's a North American Marxist. She was a kind of activist.
Yeah.
Spartacism. It's a kind of ultra left wing
Yeah.
movement. In
So
North
she's really
America.
active.
Oh, they're activists. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not terrorists. You know, they're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
politically active.
But what happened with those? Did you like? It was just like casual.
I met her in a cafe and then just took her back to the hotel I was staying in.
Yeah.
And then did the right thing.
The rights.
It was only a one-off. It was just
Just a one-off. Yeah.
You know, it was not. Anyway,
Yeah.
so no, it was it's just youth, isn't it? It's misspent youth. I wouldn't call it misspent.
No.
You just
it's
do
well
what you want
spent.
to do.
You spent well.
Yeah, but anyway, Lisa lived with me, and then I went back with her after a year in Norfolk, and they wouldn't let me in because I'd been going for a lot. They wouldn't give me a visa, so I thought, fuck you. And I said, right, I'm seeing you for Christmas in Chicago. I want to go to meet her dad in Chicago.
Meet her dad.
Elderly, very elderly dad.
Yeah.
And so I crossed the border.
What did the dad think of you? Did you get on with him?
Yeah, fine. He's a good old, black. Sort of not black, but sort of. Oh, it's a black neighbourhood. They used to call me Husky.
Call you what?
They used to call me the Husky.
Husky.
you're
I
white.
was the only white guy on the neighbourhood. We used to
Really?
go to the stores, to get provisions, and they used to nickname me the Husky. I was the only white guy on the neighbourhood. It was South Bend, Indiana. It was a southern suburb of Chicago.
Yeah. So you split up with her after a year.
Yeah.
How did you split up with her?
Well, I took her on a TM course to Kiel University, and she met this Swedish scientist
Oh no,
who
she
came.
ditched you for a Swede.
Yeah, for a fucking Swede. Yeah.
Oh no,
God.
Anyway, that's history.
you're heartbroken.
Well, we'd had our time together. It was, things were,
Yeah.
it's all right. I mean, but anyway, so I crossed the border I wanted to meet her dad and spend Christmas with her, and I'm glad I did because I was there for 3 or 4 months,
Yeah.
and we did a Bob Dylan, and we drove across from Chicago to the West Coast.
Did you?
Yeah.
Were you driving?
No, she was.
She had a car. Yeah.
She had a car. And we stayed in motels. We went right across Nevada, Utah,
Brilliant.
Salt Lake City, Colorado.
Yeah.
We went across the Nevada desert, Utah.
Mm.
It was fucking brilliant. I mean, what an episode that was.
Yeah.
Did you go through the desert on a horse with no name?
Exactly. It was the Eagles. The Eagles were on the rise then as
Yeah.
well.
Were you doing some drugs then as well?
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. No, we all were then.
Didn't you say you had a chillum in your pocket at some point?
Oh, that was when I came into Toronto International Airport. They gave me a strip search.
Strip search.
Yeah, they let me off. They said, "Don't come in through customs again with a chili."
Rubber gloves.
Well, whatever. I can't remember now. I had to strip off anyway.
Yeah.
And they could have actually scraped the chillum and done me for residue.
Where was the chillum?
It was sticking out of my fucking handbag. It's fucking stupid. Isn't it?
My handbag.
No, shoulder bag. sorry.
Shoulder bag. Yeah.
Shoulder bag, yeah.
Yeah. And just for those that don't know, what's chillum?
It's a pipe which you smoke weed or grass or
Yeah.
or marijuana or what's it called, resin. The resin.
Yeah.
You kind of crumble it
Mm.
and mix it with tobacco and then you smoke it.
Right.
Smoke it.
Yeah.
I used to do it all the time in them days.
Mm.
I don't even smoke cigarettes now. I gave up 30 years ago. Thank
Yeah.
God I did.
Well, exactly. So now you need a healthy lifestyle
Well,
now.
exactly,
Yeah.
I got to. I wouldn't have survived that stuff I had if I hadn't stopped smoking
Mm.
all those years earlier. Yeah. Anyway, it's a good story, isn't it?
It's a great story.
And I was nearly caught, when I crossed the border at night, I was nearly caught. I told you about this, didn't I?
Yeah.
They kind of knew something was going on,
Yeah.
and they were trying to catch me in this kind of silencer on a little buggy. going along, and because they were smoking, I could see them coming.
Yeah.
It was a moonless night, which aided me, and I dived off the road into a snow-filled ditch, and they just drove past. They waited for me further down.
Really?
So I got off the road by about half a mile, and then I went through woods.
Yeah.
It was all snow. It was like December '76.
Yeah.
It was all snow, so I just walked around and then rejoined the road. I got away with it.
Yeah.
Incredible, I was lucky. I was lucky, but it's a bit of an adventure, But,
Yeah. So all these stories are going to be in your Telling Tales book.
Yeah. I wait for Donald Trump to take legal action against me, for the. No, I'll have to get advice on all that.
Legal action about what?
Well, because about entering the United States illegally.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about it now. It's like 50 years ago.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I know.
Blimey. That dog loves you, doesn't he?
It's what?
That dog loves you.
Oh, God, yeah.
You're very,
I love her as well.
Yeah.
All right.
This one's jealous. Jealous of the affection. Well, really looking forward to your book, Peter.
Yeah, no, that's all
Telling
right.
Tales. I mean,
but it shows all the artists and what they say about each other,
yeah,
I mean, Patrick Coldfield laughing their heads off at Peter Blake,
yeah,
for sort of dropping out into this ruralist fantasy. Born again pre-Raphaelitism,
yeah,
They were really taking the piss out of him.
yeah,
Because they still were true to the pop art, urban,
yeah,
dream, Rosenquist and Warhol and, Roy Lichtenstein,
And there's going to be a lot about St Ives in it, isn't there?
Oh,
Because
yeah,
you
right.
have written a lot of books about
St. Ives.
St Ives artists.
Yeah.
That dog's finishing your dinner.
Go and help yourself. Okay. All right, okay, Bella.
What are the dog's called?
Bella and Bonnie.
Good names.
Yeah, good things. No, they're sweet. How did you? All right, I was got a piercing bark.
Yeah. Okay, well that's
It's good actually. I mean, it's good to talk to you in this way because it's all a prelude, to me writing it down, and then of course, when I was in New York, I told you at a separate visit, I met Ian Anderson. I was eating.
What, from Jethro Tull?
Jethro Tull.
Oh, really?
He was performing at Carnegie Hall in New York, and he was having lunch at this restaurant opposite Carnegie Hall, and I was next to him on a table, as close to him as you are to me now.
Yeah.
And his missus was with him, who you met in the Greek Isles.
Yeah. They
were together, his missus and him. And I was so close to them, I was practically with them, having lunch.
Yeah.
So that's, if I'd been sharper and more on my wits, I would have sort of said, oh, any chance of a ticket,
Did you go and talk to him though?
No, I couldn't help but talk to him. I mean, I was sitting on a table,
Yeah.
like as far away as you are to me now, we were almost like next to each other.
Yeah.
And then he was talking about Hendrix a lot. I remember he was talking a hell of a lot about Jimi Hendrix. I can remember that. And he was well-spoken English, obviously, and I mean well-spoken. So then I just interrupted, are you Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull?
Because he had the long curly hair, didn't he?
He did.
The locks.
He did indeed. Very elegant looking. Unfortunately, he's lost his hair, but
well, you haven't, Peter. Nor have I.
Well,
So that's
I'm lucky. I'm lucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
blessed.
Yeah, but no, nice guy. He nodded to me when he left, and I didn't make as much as I would have done now. But I was only 22. Don't forget. But I mean, that was a kind of quite a bit of. I mean, it's just. I should have been more pushy with him and talked a bit more, but I didn't really, they were having lunch and him and his missus, and he was performing that night at Carnegie Hall, so I didn't want to push it too much, but yeah.
Good. Okay. Well, to be continued.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Thanks, Peter.
Yeah. Thank you.